The Eastern Naga Students' Federation had decided to take an indefinite democratic agitation at the Nagaland Secretariat starting from April 21, expressing their disappointment at the government in regards to the Federation's demand for inclusion of exempted posts and department from the purview of the Nagaland Staff Selection Board, which was followed by a short program at the Civil Secretariat.
Once a law is amended, it is very difficult to go back and check what has been done and what has to be done, what needs to be addressed. Therefore, it is our sincere appeal to the government of Nagaland. We have been appealing. However, as I said, they have always turned their ear to our demands. This is my sincere appeal to the aspirants, the students community, those in the college universities, those preparing for examinations, and also to the concerned citizens and parents. The Federation demanding for inclusive staff selection board is for you, is for me, is for us.
In the composition of the board, the chairman and 2 members, all the 3 posts should be rotated amongst the recognized Naga tribes of Nagaland on roster basis to maintain fair justice and equality to all tribes. That is charter number 1, chart of demand number 1. And in the second chart of demand we had 45% posts should be exclusively earmarked for 6 tribes of Eastern Nagas. That was before the recognition of our tribe, Tikya brothers. I'm sorry. That is Sangdam, Gunang, Imkyung, Kemnyongan, Pom, and Jang. For 20 years, till 6 tribes of Eastern Nagas reaches at bar with the rest of the other Nagas, after which it shall be subject to review. Group C posts, which are exempted from the purview of NSSB mentioned under Schedule A, should be brought under NSSB purview for preliminary and written exam, and other practical skill, physical proficiency and interview should be conducted by the respective departments. Number 4, recruitment to the post of constable, fire constable, warder, female warder in the police, prisons, Nagaland Lok Ayukta, MPDO, Home Guard and Civil Defense, and Department of Fire and Emergency Services, excise and forest cards in the EF and CC should be brought under NSSB purview for preliminary and written examination, and other practical skill, physical proficiency and interview should be conducted by the respective departments. So these are the two genuine demands that are levied. Today we are demanding that. Now, number 5. Examination centers for preliminary and written exams should be in all the district headquarters that the cabinet subcommittee has recommended. Number 6, penalty provision to defaulters, departments or concerned officer who fails to recommend the Group C level 3 and 7 vacancy post to NSSB. That also the cabinet subcommittee has recommended. So this was our 6th charter of demand, and this remains the same.
Why we have agitated, why we have proposed this kind of a representation to the government? Because NSSB is actually for justice. As to how you should enter in the interview, how you should be selected. In order to avoid corruption, in order to avoid backdoor appointment, in order to avoid nepotism, in order to avoid tribalism, bias attitude. Therefore, this is very important.
We cannot allow the government of the day to further divide the minds of the people. as and when we felt that Nagaland State is already time to set up a separate recruitment board in order to recruit grade 3 post and in order to recruit the right person to the right post. But as and when we push forward this agenda, government has been confusing particularly the two federations, and for which we have been appealing to the government of the day to call for both the federation to come and sort out the differences. However, till today, government is playing a delaying tactics so as to not to allow this NSSB to constitute for the welfare of the students' communities.
Conversation and heartfelt support to the ENSF. Today we stand in solidarity with the ENSF and demand made by ENSF. We urge the state government to understand and not take the demand put up by our ENSF for granted. The time frame provided for your study in regard to the charter of demand has come to an end with the zero effort response has come to an end from the end of the government. It is indeed painful that the state government has failed and neglected to meet the genuine demand even after several rounds of discussion which lead to this day.
For more than 2 years, the government is delaying in giving justice to the welfare of the Naga youth. And it is to caution that why the government is playing delay tactics and spoiling the career and life of the aspirant citizen. Having learned all the tactics and the policies of the government, the 7th Federating Unit, once they said the Eastern Naga Student Federation that as agreed in the beginning, we are with you.
When children ask a bread, a parent should not give a snack. I think anything which concerns the state of Nagaland, until and unless a student or a public come to the street to voice out for justice, government never initiate or never take decision in favor of the aggrieved party, and for which this protest called by Eastern Naga Students Federation is very genuine, for which Naga Students Federation extends our solidarity. I want to appeal to the state of Nagaland government of the day to call two federation so that differences can be sorted out in order to draw a clear roadmap so as to ensure that NSSB is made functional at the earliest possible time. It is not time for us, and we also would like to say to the government that the aspirants and young students who are unemployed and who are more than prepared to sit for any competitive exam are exhausted, are tired because examination is not conducted for almost 2 years from now, and for which we want to sincerely appeal to the state government to give all possible effort so as to ensure that there is clarity in setting up NSSB, so as to ensure that NSSB is made functional at the earliest possible time.